for the near term.
Chris,
All right.
we have a special guest.
Okay.
We're going to bring in James Brierton right now.
My
He
man,
is
all
figuring
right.
out, hey, James, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you. And I was just listening to Chris talking about the rising waters, and here they are. This is the Little Sugar Creek, guys, just behind Park Road Shopping Center. You know where Amelie's is? We're along Brandywine. And I don't know if you can make this out, but that's the railing that you would normally walk alongside if you were on the greenway here. So when Chris says the waters are rising quickly, this is exactly what he's referring to.
Yeah, so and that's the definition of a flash flood warning. If you had rain just over, and James, I think it's really the rain rates that we've had recently. Like, this is kind of the heaviest that we've seen here. This can happen with just a general quick thunderstorm, but now it's really been compounding. So it's the rain right now that I think it's really going to make the next couple hours worse. But yeah, they're warning us just because of exactly where you're at, man. What's the parking lot look like?
Well, Chris, I'm so glad you brought that up. When you asked me about the parking lot, I think it helps kind of convey what the real life impacts are, because we've talked about from time to time how the Little Sugar Creek and the Greenway are designed to flood. So some of this is expected to be normal. If I may, I'm actually going to walk away from the parking lot, walking away from Park Road Shopping Center, because I want to take you over here to Westfield Drive. It's another area we've talked about before, because this is actually an area where the government has reclaimed property because it often floods. And it's doing that right now. So Westfield Road, I'm going to take a quick little walk here. You guys will be down here in about 15 seconds. The roadway is becoming covered in water. So when we start talking about like real world impacts, this is a road that is still currently open. There's no barricades or anything. So someone could drive down into this. And although these lots over here have all been reclaimed because of previous flooding, homes and things are not that far away. So Chris, when you talk about why the National Weather Service has issued the flash flood warning, I think it's exactly for situations like this, where we're not too far away from that home right over there.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was only like a 20-second walk, if that. And how, I mean, are your feet, you seem to be finding one of those, relatively drier patches, James, walking around.
My feet are soaking wet, Jan. So when I get to the studio, hopefully somebody has another pair of shoes for me.
Yeah, the wet socks we were talking about.
The wet socks. I drove down this road maybe 5 minutes ago, and it was still somewhat passable. But I would say give it another 5 or 10 minutes. If the rain continues at this rate, I would not advise driving down this road, because, matter of fact, there's actually a car right now backing up. I just watched this vehicle turn from a side street and try to go down this road. It's reversing and now bailing out onto a side street.
Yeah, and so now we literally had it goes ponding, significant ponding, nuisance flooding to minor flooding, and we're definitely seeing that, James. Like, we've seen a lot of situations like this before, but are you familiar specifically with this? Because I know they reclaimed a lot of lands. How often have you kind of seen it like this in this area?
I think it's one of the areas, Chris, that as a weather team, we know that if something's going to flood, this is an area that is likely to flood. It's a flood-prone area. But what I would say, and I don't know how often I've stood in this exact spot, but when I'm starting to watch, okay, this first lot that's been reclaimed, it's flooding, but it's not that far away from the next home. If I owned that home, I would be concerned.
Yeah, and again, specifically, that's why I think that the National Weather Service pinged all of Mecklenburg County being the most densely populated area, because right around where James is currently sitting, I'm seeing rain rates of about 1/4 to 1/2 inch per hour, my man. Is the rain gotten a little bit lighter compared to, say, it was about 30 minutes ago?
In the 15 or 20 minutes since I've been here, Chris, the rain has been pretty steady at the same moderate to heavy rate. I will also add, it's a two-way communication we have with the National Weather Service. They issue warnings, we relay them out to the public. While I've been standing here, I've been sending them photos and videos too, to help them make their weather decision as they were getting ready to issue that flash flood warning.
Yeah, and see, honestly, you literally might have been the water that pushed it over the levee, because we were right there. We were seeing a lot of different events. But one thing that's really been happening here is the rain, James, was trending a little bit further east, but then it's just been sticking in one spot. So this is the classic definition of flash flooding. But James, we were talking about this. So you, of course, have your Carolina Weather Group. We can thank our lucky stars that this isn't a chain of thunderstorms, because we were talking about thunderstorms rain with this. This has been really just steady. No thunder and lightning, no 2+ inch rates that have been here. This could be historic flooding. This could be like more than base, more considerable flash flooding if we could get some heavier rates. But honestly, right on the cusp, just kind of seeing the impacts right there just shows what can happen with 2 inches of rain across a morning.
Yeah, I'm watching a storm drain here, Chris, and I apologize because I'm only on Zoom, so I don't think I have much ability to zoom in. But if you guys can make it out, there's a storm drain there, working very hard to keep up with the rain rates, but I can already see like a stick and thing sticking out of it. So if enough debris were to get caught in that, it would probably hamper. And way down the street here, I am seeing more headlights. I'm watching. Oh, they also just bailed onto the side street. So far, drivers seem to be making a pretty good decision to stay off this street, but it's still open to the public. So turn around, don't drown. If you come across a flooded roadway here or anyplace else, you don't know how deep that water is, and you don't know if the pavement is still there. In this case, I believe it is, but that is our general advice anytime you encounter a flooded roadway.
We were watching the one car make that left turn
Yeah,
in your picture, James. He made it real slow. Looked like they were able to at least find a passable stretch of that road.
Well, James, we appreciate everything that you do, man. And sorry you're getting so wet for us, and sorry for the wet shoes, but you're doing great work, my friend.
I clearly need to keep an umbrella in the car.
Really, he is boots on the ground, wet socks on the ground for us.
Boots on the ground, water on his head.
I'm going to go walk back to my car because I left it in that parking lot that Chris asked me about, and ever since he asked me about how the parking lot's doing, I've been worried about my car.
Okay,
Oh,
well, why don't we just walk back with you, because we enjoyed this time as well. Plus, you can also see, like, look at James's jacket or shirt. I thought it was actually is that a jacket or is that a shirt? Yeah, it was a jacket. Yeah, no,
it's a jacket.
It's not waterproof.
It's a sponge. I was gonna say his undershirt is wet. Yeah, this is the type of rain that just saturates you.
This is the real life.
Oh yeah, let me see. And see, this
is down the greenway.
Oh boy.
See, and this is the deal. Notice the downhill. It's these low-lying areas that all of that runoff. And we talk about runoff when you have saturated soils, or sometimes really dry ground in certain cases, or after a wildfire. Concrete is the most runoff, so that's why you're seeing things like this. Yeah, and that's happening fast. James, it's been a while since we've had really a solid Sugar Creek flooding around here in Park Road.
Yeah, it's a thing that has happened before because, they design these areas so that they swell and they flood versus other areas. It's a technology or technique they use to kind of combat urban flooding. But, we want to make sure it stays confined to the channel. I just watched a vehicle drive down Westfield, and I'm still trying to decide whether or not he's going to make it all the way down. It looked like one of those, construction vehicles. Yeah, he's going for it. He's probably too far away for you guys to see.
Let's watch. Yeah, I don't see anything.
But he's kicking up a lot of water.
Yeah.
A lot of water. And he is bailing onto the side street. So I think he regretted his decision.
Oh, no. Now, you came up that way on the Greenway to your car, from your car, right?
The Greenway, if I walk back across the bridge, my car is on the Park Road Shopping Center side. So that's where I'm going to go up and over the bridge because I think it would make more sense for me to be on the side with my car.
Yeah, and James, I was just looking at the gauge heights for this location. So right now it looks like it's up to about 10 feet. Believe it or not, once you really get into the minor flooding that they start doing the jurisdictions, it's about 15 feet. But actually the last time that we had heights that you're at right now was June 12th of 2025. And before that, the last time that I actually got this high was September 28th, 2024.
So, Chris, you're talking about the gauge heights. This is the gauge camera. So when
there it is.
Oh, look at that.
System, this is the camera that Chris sometimes will show you a still picture of from the Weather Center. And as Chris is looking at the gauge heights, I think the gauge is right down here, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to see if I can find it.
Yeah, because looking at these times, it's shot up. Trust me, it's over 10 feet, and we still have some active rain that it's still going to filter back in here. So again, if you're just joining us, flash flood warning for Mecklenburg County. Our own James Brierton has been showing you examples like Sugar Creek Road, and also some low-lying areas. There was another one in Noda that we're seeing a lot of those low-lying locations that are underwater, and as all the runoff is coming there, where we've seen up and over 2 inches of rain across the area. Most recently, the height of about 10.5 feet at the Little Sugar Creek Greenway. So here's what James is showing us.
There's a live picture from James's
up
right
over the
now,
fence.
Up
Yeah.
over the
James
fence,
is
right
very
behind
wet phone.
Amelie's.
Can you see how fast this is flowing? Like,
Very
if
fast.
for some reason you were to get swept into that, you would likely struggle to keep, that's flowing fast, is my point.
Well, and also, so 11 feet, you're saying, we did it in June, but realistically, the heights that you're looking at right now, looking over the last year, has only happened 1, 2, 3, 4. This is only the 5th time that we've been at this level and this height over the last year. So, yes, as we mentioned, James, this does happen, but it's still more of a rarity that we get up to this point. And then the worst part is I'm actively watching the radar right now and heading right towards you. You kind of have that yellow transition back over to the orange. And that means that where you're standing, the rain's actually going to pick up a little bit more before it's starting to lighten up. So, yeah, we're not at its best. So, yeah, I'm talking about 10 feet. It could get a little bit higher. It's not even at action stage technically quite just yet, but honestly, we're getting a little bit close enough. So try to avoid those areas if you can. Unless you're going to try to get us some video safely, as you're trying to do with James. But James knows what he's doing. He's one of the best in the biz.
Absolutely. James, how does that...
The water is definitely rising.
How does the camera... Can you walk us through what those gauges do, the camera, the purpose of that you just showed us?
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe Chris can bring up, or Carlene there can bring up Mecklenburg FINS, FINS. So it's a real-time collaboration between the county and USGS, I believe. And so they have gauges along the creek, so we can track their rise. It helps the National Weather Service know when to issue warnings because they're monitoring from Greenville-Spartanburg. It helps us in the Weather Center know what is actually happening if one of us is not standing out here. Then in search locations, they're combined with webcams that take pictures every 5 or 10 minutes or so because seeing is believing. And I believe the third part of that system actually has rain buckets, rain gauges. So they're actually measuring in certain locations how much rain has fallen, because once that rain falls, Jane, it has to flow down into the creek. So it rolls down the streets, it rolls down through the sewage drains into the creeks, because the creeks will then take it onto the rivers and out of Mecklenburg County. But as you can see, if you think of this as like I-85 at rush hour, this is rush hour right now for all of this water that is trying to flow off of all of our urban settings down and out of the area.
Yeah, and I'm on the fins right now. It's struggling after trying to load, so sometimes the rain can affect things like this. But I'm checking some other areas around you, sir, such as the Steel Creek at Carowinds Boulevard. That's up to action stage. We actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different locations that are at least action stage as far as flooding goes. There's actually one off of Little Sugar Creek below 36th Street is at 9.37 feet, so that's action stage, almost to minor flooding. We also have the record is 12.9 at Briar Creek and Independence Boulevard. That's up to 8.56, so nothing too historic there. But the Little Sugar Creek at Medical Center Drive, the most recent update, actually got up to, let's see, up to 12.34, James. So before we were talking about 10, so flood stage officially is 13.5. So we're about a foot away from the official flood stage at that site. So that's definitely where we're seeing some of the worst rise in water for the time being.
I've gone whitewater rafting a few times before, Chris, in my life, and it tends to look like that.
Oh, boy.
That is the Little Sugar Creek. If you've ever walked the new Greenway that opened in the last year or two behind Park Road Shopping Center here, you know the creek is generally just miles, maybe like a low, couple feet. That looks like whitewater rafting that I've done.
Yeah, and I personally, this fast only happens at most like once or twice a year. Like that's a big time flow.
Here comes the fire department vehicle. Let's see if A, they chase me out, or B, if they stop here and take a look. They do certainly have lights on. So.
Well, and it's at this point, not just because of the National Weather Service.
With WCNC.
Oh, there we go.
So I think they're doing exactly what we're doing, Chris. I think they're checking out the water levels here.
Okay.
So we'll watch for a moment. So this is a Charlotte Fire Department vehicle. It also says Mecklenburg County Emergency Management on it, because they're also going to relay information back to the emergency management and onto the National Weather Service. I talked before about how when we were out here, we were sending information back to the National Weather Service. Charlotte Mecklenburg Emergency Management is also in that same chat room.
Yeah, and I was looking here at fins too. What's actually interesting is because we focus on the airport where we've been showing that 1.96, but some of the fins data showing Freedom Park accumulation of 4 inches of rain, Collinswood Elementary 4.7 inches of rain, and yeah, so right around there, that's kind of a cluster. We also have 3.8 at the USGS
How are we
office.
looking, sir? Good. I'm James with WCNC. We're streaming right now. Yeah, I'm Tony Bateman with Emergency Management. So we've got high water all across the county. Several vehicles flooded. Wow. Okay. But we're able to manage to rescue all of the occupants. So that's good news. So we don't have any of that issue going on. Do you know how many water rescues or water-related calls you've had so far? They're starting to mount, probably 10. Okay. I'm going up here to Mockingbird now. Check Mockingbird. Okay. Mockingbir's got an issue. This is an area that flooded about 20 years ago. Because I worked on this particular project, and we mitigated a lot of it. So that's why we don't have houses here. But we obviously still have problems. Right? Yeah, we were speculating that, although this floods from time to time, this seems like one of the higher ones we've seen in recent memory. Yeah, it's a lot of water. Anything you want our viewers to know in terms of action? Turn around, don't drown. Turn around, don't drown. That's the message. Tony, was it? Tony. What? Tony Bateman with Charlotte Mecklenburg Emergency Management. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. You're welcome. You be safe out here. I will. Because water no second chances with water. Absolutely. I've told them a couple times that I'll probably be moving off the bridge pretty soon. That's another thing for the viewers to remember. Water's very dangerous. There's no second chances. That's a great advice. Yeah, the water. Stay away from it, even though it's kind of magical. They got to stay away from it. It's a very fast flow we have today. Yep. FEMA still says that our number one threat is urban flooding. Urban flooding, and you're seeing a great example of urban flooding. Right, a lot of impervious surfaces. The water runs off into the natural creek beds, and all of a sudden we have Yeah, our meteorologist was saying there's more rain still to come. So it seems like we might be in this for a minute. I think all day. All day, yeah. Brad, right? Yep, Brad, and then Chris Mulcahy's in my ear right now. Okay. Yep. So tell Brad and Chris, Tony said hey. Okay, I will. Thank you, Tony.
Hello.
Hey, Tony. What did he say?
I don't know my number, so you're free to call me anytime. All right, we will do that, sir. You stay safe as well. Thank you. So you guys heard that update there.
He was great.
They're thinking the same thing we're thinking. This is a little bit more than usual.
Yeah, and I think, James, if you could just turn around and just show the fast flow of the water, I want to put it in this perspective, because this happens all the time. We just think about it, this is just Little Sugar Creek. That's no big deal. How many times have you seen video of fast-moving waters that is a stream or a river? Just because this is technically just a creek, it is moving so fast that if you slip and end up being too close to these greenways and caught in that, as you said, one of the biggest threats is urban flooding. So just don't underestimate these type of things. And then people say, it's like, oh, I'm just driving around through the puddles. No, we've already seen a bunch of hazards flashing from people that have been trying to go through the flooded waters. There's likely going to be a lot of road closure with this until everything starts to retreat itself, because the drains are overwhelmed. All you need is about a quarter to a half inch of rain when it's this saturated and this flooded to keep things going. And we're at least going to have that at least over the next 30 minutes or so, because even behind that, you still have some heavier rain as well. So yeah, no, it's flowing, my friend.
Westfield Westfield Road is completely covered. So when we started our conversation about half an hour ago, people were still kind of attempting to make it down the middle. I can barely see any of the pavement on Westfield.
Hey.
And this is what Tony was just talking. Oh, go ahead, James.
Yeah, James. I don't know if your phone got waterlogged a little bit, but you're coming in a little muffled. Just wanted to let you know in case you're able to clear that. But it says you said that it's beginning to recede just a touch.
No, it's absolutely
There
still
we go.
going
It's
up,
better.
Jane. The road is more covered now than it was
Oh.
before.
Oh no.
Is that audio any better?
That's perfect.
much better.
Much better.
Yeah,
Except for
because
the water that just hit the lens.
Whether we either
Besides
get audio
that.
or video.
Can't have both.
We can't have both.
This is the road.
Okay. Oh no.
wow, yeah.
Do you have galoshes on? Do you have like?
No, I guarantee he just has his James sneaks.
Oh, James, do you have Oh, those
Yeah.
are sneakers.
Yeah, I know, I
And
knew.
jeans.
And he's wearing jeans.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what this driver is going to do. I'm assuming they're going to turn around.
Yeah. I always like to see. Oh, yep. You called that.
See, and that was a smart way. So lead by example here. Let me see.
And James, you said Tony. You asked him how many rescues they conducted already. He said about 7 or 10.
I think he said about 10, and he said that number is going up. He did mention that all of them have been successful so far. Biggest advice is turn around, don't drown. Jane, to give us a little before and after, in the half an hour we were talking, when I first was showing you guys Westfield Drive, I was standing on the other side of that tree. It is now under water by probably about an inch.
Yep.
All
It
right.
is fast moving.
Yeah, and I can say that it's only wavered a little bit. Looking at the highest creek where James is, it hit its peak at 12.34 feet. That was 15 minutes ago. It's come down a couple of inches, but not too much. All you need is another quick burst of rain to bring that up. So yeah, no, actively as far as flooding goes, looking at the radar, the way things are going to be, I think we're right around the peak as far as the worst conditions. But as we know, water will flow downstream, so it could lead to further issues, more roads underwater. So I'm going to say, if you're watching WCNC Plus right now, most likely you're at home from your TV set. I would try to avoid travel because this afternoon we are going to see a break in the rain, but still some very heavy rain now, and we still have that active flash flood warning until 4:15. That usually will always go even outside the time that it is actively raining, because you're going to have that chance for the streams to still swell as everything's starting to collide into one area. But yeah, no, it's shows the classic event when you have all this rain, and especially in certain locations. Even though we base a lot of our rain totals at the airport, we are seeing rain totals for this morning alone up to 4 inches of rain. That's enough to do just this.
Let me interrupt here real quick, guys. We are coming up at 11 o'clock. Normally, we would get you over to Charlotte today, but because of this flash flood warning, serious situation with this heavy rain, we're going to extend our streaming coverage until 11:30 this morning. You are watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Jane Monreal, joined by our producer, James Brierton, who is out there by Park Road Shopping Center, as well as our meteorologist, Chris Mulcahy, here in studio, giving you real-time conditions, pictures, video, even interviews with emergency crews out there monitoring water rescues and the situation there at Sugar Creek. James, tell us where you are and just kind of set up what you've been covering and seeing so far.
Jane, I'm out here on Brandywine, which is in Charlotte, just behind Park Road Shopping Center. And we've been out here for about half an hour or so because it's along the Little Sugar Creek. And that's one of the areas where all of this urban water that falls from the sky, sewage drains, runoff, it all accumulates into creeks just like this one. And we've been watching the water slowly rise over the course of the last half an hour or so. And I'm about to, once again, make my way onto the bridge over the Little Sugar Creek. Chris has been monitoring the rain gauges and the creek gauges around this area, how quickly that water has been rising. And this area over here to the right is down here that you would be walking the were to find yourself, Jane, in this water, it is flowing very quickly. When I first got out here about half an hour ago, Chris Mulcahy was asking me, how's the park over there now, and probably move my car further away from the creek.
Probably a
Good
good idea.
idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Lead by example. I think that's really interesting, James, too.